So when we started this, let's go all the way back to the beginning to that franticness. What were some of the things that the users really wanted to get help with?
They really wanted to get help with general things like tracking to see where somebody else was, finishing their tasks, but also things like where is the template I used last month? Things like that, where you spend a lot of time, you don't realize you're spending a lot of time, but really opening the wrong file and working on that for an hour or two, those type of things make a big impact to, speeding up, basically having all the documents you need brought right to your desk when you need to do it was a huge factor.
So how important was it that we integrate with other systems as opposed to just stand alone as a system that helps manage the process?
Well, to date, we haven't integrated with any other system, and we were able to see huge gains. And so I would say very little.
Initially, when we implemented AFRM, it was to manage the close. But as we've continued to use it, there are numerous additional opportunities to use the system to help us with our internal compliance and our SOX compliance. Some things that we've done, for example, are those SOX procedures that we're supposed to do every month. We've created tasks for those to make sure that we don't forget to do them. That way they're presented to the preparer, who then makes sure that those tasks are prepared and reviewed and put away so that when the auditors come at the end of the quarter, end of the year, those tasks are readily available for them to see. They're currently dated, they're currently documented, and we can make sure that we perform these important procedures. We've also used AFRM for operational entries. So those entries that are not part of the accounting close, but part of the accounting process that we need to do every month, and sometimes many times per month. So for example, we will deposit checks in Fairfax, Virginia, but someone in San Francisco, California, will need to post those checks. If we'll create an operational entry that will document these checks have been deposited, and the person who will post the checks becomes the reviewer. That way, once the deposit is done, they get an email notifying them that this task has been completed and ready for their review. They're able to review all the documentation that relates to these bank deposits, post them, and close them, and we have full documentation of that process.
Tell us just a little bit about your personal experience as a developer, being able to help people out in this, and how much, I think when you came into it, it was a technical challenge, but I think a lot of it took on a human angle.
Yeah, it was interesting. So, obviously my background being technical, you want to throw technology at it. So you initially you just want to go in and kind of manhandle a little bit and kind of tell people you're doing it wrong, stuff like that. But really at the end of the day, all this stuff that was being done was close. It just needed those additional checks and balances. It needed the additional features that this software really brings. Like for instance, instead of having a checklist that says do this, just the paradigm of saying, you need to do this, but here it is. Instead of you need to do something, go find it and do it. Just that simple nuance difference between a standard checklist or a standard Excel spreadsheet that has lists of things to do. The fact that the person now knows they have to do something, but also that is actually presented to them with all the related information. That was a huge change, and I remember seeing Mary Pat's face when I first showed her how it was going to work, and she said, so I don't have to go to another system to create another document? She said, no, it's there, it's presented to you. Everything you need is right there, you just need to complete it.
In the stressful pressure of a closed situation, AFRM allows you to learn when tasks are closed, and if there's a task that you need to be performed in order for you to perform your work, you can set an alert on that, and the minute that task is prepared or reviewed, you're able to grab it and use that to perform your step or analysis. Before AFRM, there was lots of cases in our department of people nagging other people. Are you done yet? Are you done yet? Are you done? Someone goes to lunch. Oh, they went to lunch. They weren't done yet. And come back from lunch and said, are you done? You went to lunch. And they say, oh yeah, I was done before lunch. Well, you didn't tell me. AFRM eliminates all of that.